Okay, I watched Welcome to Derry episode 3, and is the CGI in the cemetery scene every bit as bad as people are saying? Yes. Have I come on here and ranted about CGI horror twice? Yes. But I have to say, it was so bad, it crossed over for me into tapping into a sense of nostalgia of watching a Stephen King miniseries as a kid, like It, or The Shining, or Rose Red, and having some cheesy sequence really scare you. And then you watch it years later and you're like, that scared me? And I thought about how many 10-year-olds are watching right now where this is their first horror show. And years later, they're gonna be like, oh my God, the zombie kids in the cemetery terrified me when I was a kid. That's so funny. So I have to say, I liked the Scooby-Doo quality to it. I was also prepared to hate this military subplot. I've been like, using Pennywise as a weapon, what? I think that the acting is great, but I have just not been on board. But after this episode, I have to say, I find Chris Chalk absolutely mesmerizing as a young Dick Hallorann. I could have watched that dinner scene for an hour, and I feel like they're really setting up interesting parallels to The Shining. The way he was speaking to Charlotte really mirrors how he speaks to Wendy, and that line like, I didn't tell you I have a son. And this beat of looking inside Leroy's mind and not wanting to look there again. I like this idea that we're laying the groundwork for why did Hallorann go out of his way to save Danny? Seattle, remember to take your vitamin D and K2. You would think I was filming this at 5 p.m. and it is 10:49. Let me turn on my police interrogation lighting. One reason I'm super excited about this storyline is I was really disappointed in Dr. Sleep. I know Stephen King doesn't like the movie The Shining, and I like the book way more than the movie too. I hate that Kubrick took Dick Hallorann, who's a really great character, and turned him into a cheap jump scare death. He just becomes a plot device for Wendy and Danny to get a snowmobile. I think that sucks. So when Dr. Sleep came out, I was so excited to revisit these characters. And then it was about Abra. And I just didn't care. I'm really interested to see where the storyline goes, and I like this idea that we're getting a more serious Dick Hallorann than we get in The Shining. I like this idea of somebody seeing such horrifying things throughout their adult life that it softens them as a person, which is really the journey Stephen King has taken. So, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island qualities and all, I can't wait for episode 4.